The video is a dubbed adaptation of one of my Hindi videos and has not been completely reproduced.
I thought I lost you.
I'm here.
My boss, like CEO Miss Ananya said.
I need you to pretend to be my husband for 1 year.
So, will we share a bed?
The night that changed everything. Aditya Sharma thought he had become used to life's hardships, raising his 6-year-old daughter, Aradhya, alone, drowning in debt, working at a Mumbai advertising agency, in a job that barely covered rent and school fees. But these all a lie he had created for himself. The reality was different. Aditya Sharma was not an ordinary copywriter. He was a gold medalist in AI engineering from MIT, trained in cyber warfare with Israeli Defense Forces, and possessed an inherited power no one knew about, the ability to know everything about someone just by looking at them. His grandmother said this gift had been passed down through generations in their family. Some called it divine sight, others called it the third eye. For Aditya, it meant simply looking at someone and knowing their intentions, loyalties, fears, and secrets. Everything. But after Nisha's death, he gave up everything. The high-stakes world of intelligence agencies, dangerous cyber warfare missions, and suppressed his powers. He just wanted to be a normal father. But that morning, when he was called to the 36th floor to meet the company's most powerful woman, life pulled him back into the game. Ananya-maa didn't fire him. She looked directly into his eyes and said, "I need you to pretend to be my husband for 1 year." Aditya froze. Then he asked the most important question, half jokingly, half seriously. "So, will we share a bed?" And that's where the real game began. First meeting, when he saw everything. It was Monday night at 8:45 p.m. when Aditya Sharma's phone rang at the corner of his Bandra office desk. He had bumped with Ananya-maa in the corridor. When he looked at Ananya, for a second his power activated, the thing he had suppressed for months, and he saw everything. Ananya-maa, 30 years old, brilliant mind, but lonely inside, a brother who wants to destroy her, trust issues stemming from childhood, a father who never thought she was enough. But most importantly, she was desperate, honest, and had no malice. Aditya immediately suppressed his power. It was dangerous if anyone found out what he could see. He returned the envelope, refused the money, and left. But that night he thought maybe this was a chance to stop people like Vikram Malhotra.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Contract proposal. So will we share? 36th floor. Contract and hidden agenda. 7 days later, when Aditya sat in that conference room listening to Ananya's proposal, he already knew everything. He had seen and read her. This wasn't manipulation, it was survival. Ananya explained about her father's will. The company was hers, but with a clause, whoever controls the company must be married. If Ananya didn't marry before her 30th birthday, control would transfer to Vikram. "When is your birthday?" Aditya asked. 11 months from now. "Then why me? I need a husband. Not a real one, a contract. 12 months, no emotions, no complications, just a performance." "But Aditya asked. Ananya explained. He had more than million rupees medical debt, 2 months behind on rent, daughter's play school, barely covered. "I can fix all this," Ananya said. "Debt cleared, salary doubled to 3 million rupees, cathedral school admission, medical insurance. You just have to play a role." "What does that mean?" Aditya asked. "Attend family dinners, pose for photos, convince my brother Vikram and the board that we're a real couple." Aditya asked the question stuck in his throat. "And will we share a bed?" Ananya's expression didn't change. "Only when necessary." But Aditya's real reason was different. He had heard about Vikram. His instincts, which were never wrong, told him Vikram wasn't just a greedy brother. Vikram was dangerous, corrupt. "I need 24 hours to think," Aditya said. The practical arrangement, 2 separate spaces. After signing the contract, when logistics came up, Aditya made it clear, "My daughter won't be involved in this arrangement. She'll stay separate." Ananya said thoughtfully, "I understand, but think practically. You'll come from Andheri to Juhu every day, 2-3 hours in traffic. When will you spend time with your daughter? I'll manage." "No, you won't," Ananya said firmly. "Listen, I have a solution." She opened a document on her laptop. "Look at this building. Malhotra Residences. Just 3 floors below my penthouse on the 35th floor is a 3 BHK flat, fully furnished, vacant. You shift there with Aradia. Cathedral School is 10 minutes from here, office 15 minutes. Your own space, your privacy. But whenever we need to appear together, it's just an elevator ride. And rent? Aditya asked. Company flat, employee benefit. But we'll live in 2 separate flats? Aditya confirmed. Don't want to confuse Aradia. Absolutely separate spaces but same building. Aditya thought, okay. 35th floor, a new beginning. When Aditya and Aradia moved into that 3 BHK, the little girl's eyes lit up with wonder. Papa, this is so big. It truly was. Compared to the cramped 1 BHK in Ontario, this was like a palace. Living room, spacious sea view, master bedroom for Aditya, Aradia's room with kid-friendly furniture, guest room, modern kitchen, 2 balconies, Arabian sea view. Will we live here? Aradia asked excitedly. Yes, baby, this is our new home. But Papa, this seems very expensive. Can we afford it? Aditya's heart broke. A 6-year-old shouldn't worry about money. Papa got a good package from office, and this is a company flat. Okay. Aradia ran toward her new room. Aditya stood on the balcony looking up. 3 floors above, Ananya's penthouse, so close, yet so far. The elevator encounters. The first time they met in the elevator by mild coincidence. Aditya was coming from the 35th floor to ground floor holding Aradia's hand. Ananya was coming down from the 38th floor. The elevator stopped on the 35th floor. Doors opened. Aradia saw a beautiful lady in a formal dress. Good morning, Ananya smiled. Good morning, Aditya replied formally. Who are you? Aradia asked curiously. I'm Ananya. I live upstairs on the 38th floor. And you? I'm Aradia. I live here on the 35th floor with my papa. Oh, so we're neighbors. Nice to meet you, Aradia. The elevator reached the ground floor. When they stepped out, Aradia whispered, Papa, that auntie is very pretty. Aditya coughed awkwardly. Yes, dear. Ananya heard and smiled genuinely. First family dinner. Vikram's suspicion. First family dinner. Malhotra Estate. That Sunday, Aditya and Ananya had their first family dinner at the Malhotra Estate on Malabar Hill. A sprawling mansion. Vikram was there by the bar with whiskey, sharp dresser, sharper tongue. When Aditya shook Vikram's hand, his power unwillingly activated. Vikram Malhotra, manipulative, ruthless, dangerous, and something big was at play. Money laundering hints, international connections. At the dinner table, the performance began. How's married life going on? Vikram asked. It's an adjustment, Ananya said. A board member asked Aditya, what do you do at the company? I'm a copywriter. So that's how you met? Yes. Ananya held Aditya's hand across the table. We kept it quiet because we didn't want office gossip. Vikram watched the entire exchange without saying anything. I always thought Ananya would end up with someone from our circle. Aditya understands more than you give him credit for, Ananya said. On the drive home, Ananya said, Vikram didn't believe it. Good, Aditya thought. Let the game begin. Silent investigation begins. In the following weeks, Aditya quietly started observing every meeting of Ananya's, every phone call, every visitor, and gradually, combining his power and cyber skills, he saw a pattern. Loyal driver Ramesh, 15 years with the family. Board member Shyam Mehta, Ananya's father's old friend, neutral but manipulated. Personal assistant Meera, influenced by Vikram for 4 years. Board member working for Vikram. Rajesh Kapoor, informant. Security head Samir, dangerous, on Vikram's payroll. Aditya mentally made a list, but it wasn't time yet to tell Ananya. Trust me, revealing his skills. First revelation. 2 weeks later, one night, Ananya was in her study. Aditya knocked. Can I come in? Yes. Aditya said directly, some people on your team are working for Vikram. What? Ananya was shocked. Rajesh Kapoor is giving Vikram details of every meeting. Samir, the security head, is tracking your schedule. How do you know? I observe body language, phone patterns. Rajesh calls a particular number after every meeting. Vikram's assistants. I need proof. I'll give it, but not now. Right now, just trust me. Trust? We're in a contract relationship. It means I'm not just an actor, I'm on your side. Really? And if you give me time, I can show you who your enemies are. Fine, you have 1 week. The trap. False information. The next day, Aditya deliberately had a conversation in front of Mira. So in the next board meeting, you'll present the Singapore expansion plan? Ananya was confused. There was no Singapore plan, but Aditya gave her an eye signal. Yes, it's confidential. Within 24 hours, Vikram called. Ananya heard about the Singapore expansion. Why wasn't the board told first? After the call, Ananya looked at Aditya. Mira? Yes, every evening she sends updates to Vikram's assistant. How do you know? I've studied human psychology as a hobby. This was half truth, half lie. Unplanned meeting in Building Park. Saturday evening, Aditya took Aradhya to the building's terrace garden. Ananya came there for fresh air. Oh, hi, you're here too? They sat down. When Aditya went to get water, Aradhya asked directly, Do you know Papa? Yes, we work in the same office. Oh, so you're Papa's friend? Yes, something like that. I want friends for Papa. He stays very alone. Something sparkled in Ananya's eyes. When Aditya returned, the three sat together, Aradhya telling stories, and for the first time, it felt natural. The emergency when boundaries broke. An emergency, hospital night. Aradhya was crying. Papa, my stomach hurts a lot. Aditya touched her forehead. 103 degrees Fahrenheit fever. Medicine, cool compress, but the fever wasn't coming down. In panic, Aditya called Ananya. Ananya, I need help. Aradhya has a high fever. I'm coming now. Ananya ran down the stairs, 3 floors in record time. She checked Aradhya. This could be appendix. We need to go to the hospital now. I'll get the car. No, you take her, I'll drive. Your hands are shaking. Breach Candy Hospital, 2 a.m. Emergency room, tests. Finally, the doctor came. Acute gastroenteritis, severe. We'll have to admit her for at least 2 days. In the private room, Aradhya was put on IV. Papa? Aradhya said weakly. Yes, baby, I'm right here. Ananya auntie is also here? Yes, baby, I'm here too. Will you stay, please? Tears came to Ananya's eyes. Yes, baby, I'll stay. Hospital room. When walls broke. Aradhya fell asleep. Aditya sat in the chair holding her hand. Ananya stood by the window. Thank you, Aditya said quietly. You would have managed, Ananya said, but I didn't have to because you were there. Long silence. She's very brave like you. She's my life, my everything. I know, I can see it. I was never like this for anyone. A priority. For my father, I was an afterthought. For Vikram, an obstacle. For the board, a question mark. But today, when Aradhya asked me to stay, I felt important for the first time. Her voice broke. Aditya stood up. He held her hand. After today, we can't talk about boundaries. You saved my daughter's life. I love her, Ananya whispered, and I love you too. First kiss. Hospital room. Aditya looked at her for a long time, then slowly he pulled her toward him. This is complicated. I know. This will change the contract. I don't care. Me neither. And he kissed her. In the hospital room, under fluorescent lights with Aradhya's peaceful breathing beside them, it was real. Completely real. So now what? Ananya asked. Now we figure this out together. Slowly. Honestly. And we'll tell Aradhya the truth eventually. That Papa found someone. Aradhya's blessing. Ananya-maa morning. Aradhya woke up. Papa, Ananya auntie? We're right here, Aradhya smiled. You both stayed all night? Then with that innocent wisdom, Papa, is Ananya auntie your girlfriend? Aditya froze. Ananya looked at him. We're good friends, Aditya said carefully. But you like her. Special like. Aditya looked at Ananya. She nodded slowly. Yes, I like her special like. Good, Aradhya declared. I like her. Then directly. Will you stay with Papa? Ananya crouched down. If you're okay, then I'm okay. Papa needs someone. Then seriously, but you can't be my mommy. My mommy is in heaven. Tears in Ananya's eyes. I know, baby, I'll never take her place. But maybe I can be your friend, like a cool aunt? Exactly. Deal. Aradia shook hands. Look, Vikram's move. Coffee shop bribery. A few weeks later, Vikram called Aditya. I want to meet, just us two. At Starbucks, Bandra. I know Ananya hired you, Vikram said. I know about the debt, about the contract. I don't blame you. But when Ananya falls, you'll fall too. I'm giving you a way out. Walk away. The contract will be buried. Keep the money. Just disappear. Aditya deliberately hesitated. I need to think. But his phone was recording, hidden mic, easily taken, untraceable. Counterattack, cyber warfare, exposing the truth. Aditya played the recording for Ananya. Now I'll play a double game, feed him the information we want. Over the next 10 days, Aditya did what he did best, cyber warfare. He penetrated Vikram's systems, accessed encrypted files, downloaded bank records. Shell companies in Singapore, Cayman Islands, Dubai. Money laundering, tax evasion. When he showed Ananya, she was speechless. How did you? I'm an AI engineer, cybersecurity specialist. Hacking systems is child's play for me. You're scary. I know, that's why I left that world. But sometimes you have to use your powers for the right thing. Human psychology, that was your cover story? Actually, I studied that too. Just not the whole truth. Board meeting, final strike. Emergency board meeting day arrived. Vikram presented his evidence. Contract, financial transfers, timeline. Ananya committed fraud. The room went silent. Ananya stood up. Vikram is right. I made a contract with Aditya, paid his debts, asked him to pretend to be my husband. This is all true, and I won't apologize. The problem isn't that I hired Aditya. The problem is that Papa wrote a will that considers marriage a leadership qualification. It's archaic, insulting, and I did what I had to do. In the last 3 years, I've increased revenue by 38%, expanded into 2 new markets, made Malhotra Industries one of the industry's most respected firms. Would this have been possible if Vikram were in charge? That's not the point, Vikram said. The point is you lied. I played the game I was forced to play. You broke the rules. The rules were already broken. Aditya's masterstroke. Then Aditya stood up. Every head turned toward him. I have something to say. Is this relevant? Board Chair Gregory asked. Absolutely. Vikram came to me 2 weeks ago. He offered me money if I walked away, bribed me to leave Ananya. He had no concern for integrity, just winning. This is a lie, Vikram said, but nervously. Aditya took out his phone and played the recording. Vikram's voice echoed in the room. Walk away. The contract will be buried. Just disappear. Board members were shocked. Is this recording accurate? Gregory asked. Taken out of context, Vikram said. Sounds very clear to me, Gregory said. Aditya continued. And one more thing. Vikram has been using his executive access for months to monitor Ananya's emails and calendar, tracked meetings, communications, even personal correspondence. This is a direct violation of company policy, a breach of fiduciary duty. He handed Gregory a folder. Email logs, access records, timestamps. Gregory reviewed the documents. His face hardened. Vikram, is this true? I was conducting due diligence. Sounds like corporate espionage to me. The killing bow, criminal exposure. And one last thing. Aditya pulled out a thick folder. Vikram Malhotra is laundering money through shell companies into offshore accounts. I can give the board a complete financial forensics report. He placed the folder in front of Gregory. This contains details of Vikram's 3 shell companies in Singapore, Cayman Islands, and Dubai, where Malhotra Industries funds were illegally routed. Tax evasion, money laundering, all documented. Pin drop silence. Vikram's face turned red. This is fabricated. I didn't fabricate anything. These are all public records. Just needed a little deep digging. Gregory scanned the documents. Vikram, if this is true, it's a lie. Then you can explain these accounts? Aditya pulled out printouts. These are deposits in your personal bank, exactly when these shell companies received payments from Malhotra Industries. The amounts match too. 30%, which is probably your commission. Board member Shyam Mehta said, "Gregory, we should call the financial auditors now, and perhaps the authorities too." Vikram stood up. His chair fell back. "You'll all regret this." Then to Aditya, "You made an enemy of me." "No, you made an enemy of yourself. I just helped expose it a little." The board's decision. 30 minutes later, Gregory came out. "The board has made a decision. Vikram is being removed from the board for ethical violations and abuse of executive access. Ananya will retain her vice president position. However, the marriage contract must dissolve within 30 days. The board will review the marriage clause in the will with legal counsel." Gregory looked at Ananya. "You're lucky to have someone who stands up for you like this. Contract ends. I can't do this parking garage." When everything broke, fluorescent lights hummed in the parking garage. Corporate victory should have been sweet, but it wasn't. Ananya turned to look at Aditya. Her composure was finally cracking. "Thank you." "You don't need to thank me," Aditya said quietly. Long pause. The weight of unspoken words hung heavy between them. "The contract is over," Ananya said, her voice barely above a whisper. "You don't have to stay. I know. Will you leave?" Aditya hesitated. "I don't know. I need to figure out what my life looks like now when it's not dictated by a paper." Ananya nodded slowly, mechanically. "I understand." She turned toward her car, put her hand on the door handle, and then something inside her broke. The breaking point. "I can't do this." Ananya's hand trembled on the car door. She stood frozen. Aditya was already walking toward the elevator. 3 floors. That's all that would separate them now. 3 floors and an ocean of pretending this wasn't real. "Aditya, wait!" He stopped, turned around. Ananya stood by her car, and for the first time since he'd known her, the Ice Queen, corporate warrior, the woman who never showed weakness, she looked completely, utterly broken. "I can't," she whispered. Then louder, "I can't do this." "Ananya, no, let me speak." She walked toward him, tears streaming down her face. "I can't go back to that penthouse alone. I can't pretend the last few months didn't happen. I can't wake up tomorrow morning and be the person I was before you and Aradia." Her voice cracked. "I won't." Aditya stood frozen, his own defenses crumbling. "You know what my penthouse felt like before you?" Ananya continued, words flowing like a broken dam. "Like a museum, like a tomb. I'd work until midnight, eat dinner alone, sleep in that massive bed, and the only sound was silence. Deafening silence." She took another step closer. "And then you came, and Aradia. And suddenly there was life in that building. Aradia's laughter in the elevator. Your voice asking how my day was. The smell of your coffee in the morning when our schedules accidentally aligned. Ananya." Aditya tried again. "I love her," Ananya said fiercely. "I love Aradia like she's my own. I like it when she tells me about school. I like it when she asks me for homework help, even though I'm terrible at 3rd grade math. I like it when she says, 'Good night, Ananya auntie,' over my apartment intercom before bed." She was fully crying now, not caring who saw. "And I love you. I'm in love with you. Not because of the contract, not because it's convenient, but because you're the first person who made me feel like I'm not broken, like just being me is enough." Aditya's walls fell. Aditya stood there, his own eyes wet, his power unwillingly activated, and he saw everything, Ananya's raw, desperate truth. No deception, no manipulation, just pure, terrified love. "I don't know how to do this," Ananya continued, her voice shaking. "I don't know how to be in a real relationship. I don't know how to be a mother figure. I'll constantly mess up. But I want to try. I need to try." She looked at him. "Tell me you feel something too. Tell me these past months weren't just a performance for you." Aditya closed the distance in 2 strides. "Performance?" His voice was rough. "Ananya, You think I researched Vikram's finances until 2 a.m. for a performance? You think I called you first when Aradia had a fever because of a contract? He cupped her face in his hands. You think I kissed you in that hospital room because I was role-playing? Then why are you walking away? Ananya sobbed. Because I was trying to give you an out, Aditya said. Because you just got free from an impossible contract, and I didn't want you to feel obligated. I don't feel obligated, you idiot. I feel in love. The words echoed in the concrete parking garage. They stared at each other, both breathing hard, both crying, both terrified and exhilarated. So now what? Aditya whispered.
I want my family. You either move into my penthouse on the 38th floor, or I move into your apartment on the 35th floor.
I want my family. Ananya's declaration. I want my family. Ananya wiped her tears, and suddenly the corporate executive returned, but different, stronger, more determined. What happens now? She said, her voice steady despite the tears. I'm not living 3 floors above you anymore. I won't do this halfway. She took a breath. You have 2 choices, Aditya Sharma. 1. You and Aradia come to my penthouse on the 38th floor with me. We become a real family, not neighbors, not friends with complicated feelings. A family. Aditya opened his mouth, but she raised her hand. 2. I'm moving down to your apartment on the 35th floor. I'll bring my stuff. I'll squeeze into that guest room. I'll learn to make breakfast because I know Aradia loves homemade pancakes. I'll be there every morning and every night. Her eyes burned with determination. I want my family, and I won't take no for an answer. Ananya, you can't just... I can't? She stepped closer, her finger poking his chest. I just exposed my brother's money laundering. I defended our contract in front of the entire board. I just poured my heart out in a parking garage. You think I'll let logistics stop me now? Aditya felt a smile forming on his lips, despite everything. You're crazy. I'm in love, she corrected. There's a difference. The penthouse has 5 bedrooms, Aditya said slowly. Aradia would have her own room, a real kitchen, real dining room, space for her to run around. Exactly, Ananya said. But I don't care about the space. I care about living with you both. If the 35th floor apartment is where you want to stay, I'll live there. I want my family. She grabbed his jacket. So what will it be, Aditya? Will you keep pushing me away because you think it's noble? Or will you admit you want this too? Aditya thought Ananya might have a panic attack. He hugged her and looked at her face. I'm okay with whatever you say. Just calm down. She understood she was panicking. To calm down, she rested her head on his wide chest till her breath stable. And she found her safe place to breathe peacefully for the rest of her life. She was not ready to go away from his wide chest, but she did as she worried to see Aradia now. The decision. Let's tell Aradia. Aditya looked at her. Really looked. The woman who had just bared her soul. The woman who loved his daughter. The woman who made him feel alive again. His power was still active, and he saw her future, their future, spread out before him. And it was beautiful. Okay, he said quietly. Okay? Ananya's eyes widened. Okay, what? Okay, yes. To the penthouse. To becoming a family. To everything. But we need to tell Aradia first. Together. The right way. Ananya's face lit up like the sun breaking through clouds. Really? Really? Aditya smiled. But Ananya, if we're doing this, we're doing it right. No contracts, no pretending. Just us. Honest and real. I don't know how to do real, Ananya admitted, her voice small. I don't either, Aditya said, but we'll figure it out together. Ananya threw her arms around him, and he held her tight, breathing in her perfume, feeling her heartbeat against his chest. We should go, he whispered. Aradia's probably wondering where you are. She's at Mrs. Sharma's. I need to pick her up. Ananya pulled back, looking at him. Can I come? Can I be there when you tell her? I don't want to do this without you, Aditya said. telling Aradia, family meeting. They went together to Andheri, to Mrs. Sharma's small but warm apartment where Aradia was staying. When they knocked, Aradia opened the door. Her face lit up when she saw them both. Papa, Ananya auntie. She launched herself at them. Hey, sweetheart, Aditya said, catching her. Can we talk to you about something important? Aradia's face became serious. Am I in trouble? No, baby, not at all. Ananya crouched to her level. Actually, we want to ask you something. They sat on Mrs. Sharma's couch, Aradia between them, curiously looking from one to the other. Aradia, Aditya started. You know Ananya auntie and I are friends? You mean dating? Aradia said matter-of-factly. I'm 8 years old, Papa. I know things. Aditya and Ananya exchanged a look. Of course she knew. Okay, yes, dating. Aditya smiled. Well, Ananya auntie and I want to be more than dating. We want to become a real family. All of us together. Aradia's eyes went wide. Like, live together? Yes, Ananya said softly. I want to live with you and your papa in the penthouse. It has a big room for you with windows that show Juhu Beach, and we'll all live together every day. But, Aradia's voice became small. What about my mommy? I told you, you can't replace her. Ananya's eyes filled with tears. I will never, ever try to replace your mommy. Aradia, she will always be your mom. Always. I'm not trying to be your mom. Then what are you? Aradia asked. Ananya took a shaky breath. I'm someone who loves you very much. Someone who wants to care for you. Someone who wants to be part of your family. If you'll allow me. Aradia was quiet for a long moment. Then, can I call you Ananya-maa? Ananya's breath caught. What? Mama, no. That's my mommy in heaven. But Ananya-maa because you're like my ma but different. Is that okay? Ananya was openly crying. That's more than okay, sweetheart. That's perfect. Aradia looked at Aditya. And Papa? You'll be happy with Ananya-maa? Aditya pulled them both into a hug. I'll be the happiest man in the world, baby girl. So let's become a family, Aradia declared. When are we moving to the big apartment? Moving to Penthouse. Building family 3 floors up. The next weekend they moved. Not just Aditya and Aradia's things, but Ananya's too. She had lived alone in that penthouse for years, and now it would be filled with life. Aradia ran through the massive space, claiming her room, the one with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Juhu Beach. Papa, Ananya-maa, come see. I can see the whole beach. Mrs. Sharma helped them unpack, smiling knowingly. It was time for you 3 to figure this out. You knew? Aditya asked. Beta, I've been watching you 3 for months. A blind person could see you were meant to be together. By evening, the penthouse looked different. Aradia's drawings on the refrigerator, Aditya's coffee maker on the counter, Ananya's work papers on the dining table, family photos in frames. It felt like a home. Their first night as a family. That night, after Aradia had gone to sleep in her new room, Aditya and Ananya stood on the penthouse balcony overlooking Mumbai. I can't believe this is real, Ananya whispered. Believe it, Aditya said, wrapping his arms around her from behind. Thank you, she said, for saying yes, for giving us a chance. Thank you for not taking no for an answer, Aditya replied, for fighting for us. Ananya turned in his arms. So now that we're really living together. Yes, he smiled mischievously. Now we're definitely sharing a bed, right? Aditya laughed. Definitely.
He was reluctant to share a bed with me. Now he's agreed.
He kissed her, soft and sweet and full of promise. I love you, Ananya whispered against his lips. I love you too, Aditya said. Both of you, my family. From inside, Aradia called out, Papa, Ananya-maa, can you come say goodnight again? They looked at each other and smiled. Coming, sweetheart, they called out together.
You made me complete the ultimate aim of any woman. a complete family. Finally, you agreed to share a bed with me.
Because you don't accept no as an answer.
Vikram's threat. Threat to Aradia. The threat, Vikram's last move. But in the shadows, Vikram Malhotra wasn't finished yet. 2 weeks after moving in together, a text came to Aditya's phone from an unknown number. Cute family you have, especially the little girl. Children are so fragile. No. Aditya's blood ran cold. A second text came with a photo. Aradia leaving school that day. You took everything from me. Maybe I should return the favor. Aditya's hands shook as he immediately called his old intelligence contacts. I need protection now. For my daughter. Ananya came into the room, saw his face. Aditya, what happened? He showed her the texts. Ananya's face went pale, then hardened with fury. He wouldn't dare? He's desperate, dangerous. We need to end this, Ananya said firmly. Once and for all. The final trap, taking Vikram down completely. Aditya made a decision. He would use his power one more time, but this time to finish Vikram permanently. He reached out to Vikram, pretending to be scared. You win. I'll testify that Ananya forced me into the contract. Just leave Aradia alone. Vikram took the bait. They arranged a meeting, a warehouse in Navi Mumbai. But Aditya wasn't alone. Crime branch officers, his old contacts, were wired. Ananya was listening remotely. In the warehouse, Vikram was cocky. Smart move, Aditya. What do you want? Aditya asked. I want my company back, and I want to see my sister destroyed. And if I help? Vikram smiled coldly. Then maybe your daughter won't have an unfortunate accident. That was the explicit threat, on recording. Crime branch officers emerged from the shadows, led by IPS officer Priya Sharma. Vikram Malhotra, you're under arrest for extortion and threats against a minor. IPS officer Priya's entry. And Vikram lunged at Aditya, but Aditya, combat-trained, easily subdued him. You should have stayed in your lane, Vikram, Aditya said quietly as officers handcuffed him. You threatened my family. That was your last mistake. Officer Priya Sharma said in a professional voice. Vikram Malhotra, you're under arrest for extortion, threatening a minor, money laundering, and corporate fraud. You have the right to remain silent. Vikram was taken away, screaming and making threats. Officer Priya Sharma said in a professional voice. Vikram Malhotra, you're arrested under Indian Penal Code Section 506, Criminal Intimidation, Section 384, Extortion, and under the POCSO Act for threatening a minor. As Vikram was being taken away, he looked at Aditya. This isn't over. Oh, it's completely over. IPS Priya Sharma cut in, her voice steel. And next time you think of threatening a child, remember? Some people's sisters are cops. Vikram looked confused, but he was taken away. When the warehouse cleared, Priya removed her officer cap and turned to Aditya. So, when were you going to tell me you needed my help? Aditya gave a tired smile. I could have handled it. Yes, I can see that, Priya said sarcastically. That's why your daughter was being threatened. Priya, you always do this. Try to handle everything alone. You forget you have a big sister. She gave him a tight hug. Now let's go home. I need to properly meet your new family. Ananya, who had been listening remotely, immediately arrived. She hugged Aditya tightly. It's over, Aditya whispered. Aradia is safe. Officer Priya Sharma came toward them. Aditya and Miss Malhotra, you'll need to testify in court, but I'll personally ensure Vikram Malhotra gets the maximum sentence. Thank you, officer, Ananya said. You've helped so much. Priya gave a professional smile. Just doing my job. Then to Aditya, with a very knowing look and a slight nod. Aditya barely nodded back. Later. But she turned and, looking at Ananya, said, Beautiful, absolutely perfect. Aditya Sharma is lucky. Thank you, Miss Malhotra, for taking care of them, both. Thank you. Ananya didn't quite understand but smiled.
I thought I lost you.
I'm here.
Don't worry, he's brave, and Aditya are lucky to have such a beautiful life partner.
Why, she is happy.
Praising your beauty may be.
Peace. Vikram Malhotra was sentenced to 15 years in prison. The board officially removed the marriage clause from the will. Ananya was made CEO of Sterling Marketing Solutions. Aditya's consulting firm was thriving. Sharma Cyber Solutions. And Aradia was happy. Genuinely, completely happy. One Saturday morning, the three of them were making pancakes in the Penthouse kitchen. Well, Aditya was making them. Ananya was trying to help. Aradia was supervising and laughing at Ananya's attempts. Ananya-maa, you have to flip it, not launch it. I'm trying, Ananya laughed as another pancake landed on the floor. Aditya watched them, his heart full. This is what he had fought for. That evening, after Aradia had gone to bed, Ananya curled up against Aditya on the couch. I have to tell you something, she said nervously. What? She took his hand and placed it on her belly. We need to turn that guest room into a nursery. Aditya's eyes went wide. You're pregnant? Ananya confirmed, tears in her eyes. About 8 weeks. Aditya pulled her into a tight embrace. We're having a baby. We're having a baby, he repeated, laughing and crying at the same time. Does Aradia know? Not yet. I wanted to tell you first. She'll be thrilled, Aditya said. She's always wanted a sibling. So let's get married soon. Please invite Officer Priya for dinner today. Ananya was confused and asked, What's her number? Aditya replied, I'll give it to you. Confused, she called and invited her for dinner at home. When Officer Priya arrived, Ananya was surprised. She hugged her like family, kissed her forehead. After dinner, Aditya lay on the sofa with his head in Priya's lap. Priya was running her hands through his hair. Ananya and Aradia were both still puzzled. But a picture formed in Aradia's mind. She practically dragged Ananya to the bedroom drawer, opened a photo album, showed an old photo, a 10-year-old girl and a 6-year-old boy on a sofa, the boy's head in the girl's lap. Aradia asked Ananya, Now tell me. Ananya asked, What? She's my bua, aunt, Aradia replied back. Confused, Ananya understood. Officer Priya is Aditya's big sister. Here, Aditya told Priya everything. Priya asked, Did you see? He said, Yes, a boy, and no negative signs. Priya breathed a sigh of relief. Ananya came and sat on Priya's other side. Priya kissed her cheek. Priya said, Let's fix the wedding for next week. Ananya nodded yes. Aradia also sat on Priya's lap. Priya asked her, You recognized me? She answered, Yes. And turning her face toward Ananya, she said, I want a brother on my lap, please. Everyone laughed. Ananya said, smiling, I'm the dumbest in my family. Priya told her, Adjust yourself. The new one coming will be smarter than his father. Priya looks like a banyan tree with branches spreading around it. They checked the time as morning sun rays came in. The real wedding. A week later, there was a real wedding. Small, intimate, close friends and family. A beautiful mandap on Juhu Beach. Aradia was the flower girl. Board members were there. Gregory, Shyam Mehta, Mrs. Sharma, who had helped Aditya in his most difficult days. And then an unexpected guest. IPS officer, Priya Sharma. Not in formal uniform, but in a beautiful sari. At the wedding reception, Gregory saw Priya welcoming guests. Why was this IPS officer here, and so casually, as if she was family? Finally, he just asked, Officer Sharma, why are you here? Priya turned and smiled warmly. Actually, I'm here as the big sister. Gregory looked confused. Big sister? Priya gestured toward the mandap where Aditya stood, waiting for Ananya. Aditya is my younger brother. I'm the eldest in the Sharma family. Gregory's eyes went wide. But, Vikram's arrest? Exactly, Priya said, a professional glint in her eyes. When my brother called and told me someone threatened his 8-year-old daughter, I personally handled that case. She paused, then softer. Aditya told me to keep a low profile. He didn't want people to think he used his sister's connections. But when family is threatened, what's the point of connections if you can't protect them? Gregory nodded slowly, understanding dawning. That's why the arrest was so swift. So professional? I do my job well, Priya said simply. And when it comes to my family, I do it even better. She gave a warm smile. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to participate in my brother's wedding. After all, I've waited years to see him this happy. Gregory watched as Priya walked toward the mandap where Aditya saw her and gave a grateful smile. Suddenly, everything made sense. When hearts spoke. At the mandap, when Ananya made her entry in a stunning red lehenga, Aditya's breath stopped. Aradia walked ahead of her, scattering flower petals. When Ananya reached the mandap, she looked into Aditya's eyes. Aditya's power activated. For the last time, he saw Ananya, completely in love, no doubts, no fears, just pure happiness. And he confirmed the decision he had made months ago. He would never tell anyone about his real inherited power. During the vows, Aditya said, I promise I will always protect you, always be honest, always fight for you, and I promise no more secrets. Well, at least no important ones. Ananya said, laughing, I also promise. No more fake contracts. Next time, everything will be real. She added mischievously, actually, next time is already real because this is real. Completely real. Reception, when family was complete. At the reception, Priya took Ananya aside privately. I wanted to officially meet you, Priya said, as my sister-in-law. Ananya hugged her tightly. Thank you, for that night, for arresting Vikram, for keeping Aradia safe. It's family, Priya said simply. We fight for each other. Then she said, a bit more seriously, Aditya told me you know something about his past. MIT, cyber warfare training, but not the whole story, Ananya completed. Exactly. Priya paused. Did he tell you about his special abilities? Ananya thought. He said he can read people well. Body language, pattern recognition. But sometimes I feel there's something more, something he's hiding. Priya looked thoughtful. If he's hiding it, maybe there's a good reason. My brother is complicated, but his heart is in the right place. And the way he looks at you and Aradia, I know. Ananya said softly. I trust him completely. Good, Priya smiled, because you've now gained an entire Sharma family, and we're very protective. I like that, Ananya said.
Subscribe. It is free.